Welcome to Growing Younger Health and Fitness podcast designed for people over 40. Hello guys, and this is Alex here from Growing Younger, and today on this podcast we're going to do an interview, and our guest today is Robyn Livingston. So she's been a member at Growing Younger for about 18 months, and she achieved some amazing, remarkable results. So I'm going to ask Robyn a few questions about her journey, and hopefully you can pick up some interesting, useful tips from that as well. So hi Robyn.
Hi.
So Robyn, look, my first question to you is, so before you joined Growing Younger, before you started, like, what was the life like? What were your sort of challenges? What were your goals?
Before I started at Growing Younger, before I had kids, I had been quite active, and then once I had my kids, I became less and less active, and then when COVID hit, I became very inactive. And I was having several health issues, and I got to the point where, just walking up a flight of stairs would get me puffed. So, yeah, I sort of thought it's about time that I, did something to change.
Sure. And before joining, have you tried anything else? Have you tried any other exercise programs or anything of that nature?
Not really. I had tried walking.
Right.
But I hadn't really tried any formal exercises.
Okay. Cool, that's good. And so how did you find it?
Yeah, it's great. It's been good. It was hard to start off with.
Yeah.
But as I've gone along, it's got easier.
Okay.
But yeah, some days I still find it hard.
Yeah, cool.
Especially when my trainer puts my weights up and stuff, yeah. I still, have my hard days, but it's getting easier and easier.
Well, look, it has to be challenging. If it's not hard, or if it's not hard to a certain degree, like, it's probably not doing anything, really, isn't it? So
true.
So it's just about getting comfortable being uncomfortable, isn't it?
Yep.
To a certain point. Okay, cool. And so, what were your achievements so far? Like, how can you compare yourself now to where you started? Like, what have you been able to achieve?
So far, like, I have definitely got, physically more fit. I can walk a lot more. I can walk up hills now. I still sometimes get quite puffed, but I can walk up hills without stopping, which is quite an achievement.
Excellent.
And I can carry a lot more than I used to be able to carry. And
right. So your muscle strength has improved quite significantly as well. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to know. Because a lot of people come to us, for various reasons. Some want to lose weight. Some people want to get fit, and like strength. I guess muscle weakness is one of the very common things that we see. Because people, as we age, unfortunately, we start to lose quite a bit of muscle strength unless we do something about it. So you can certainly overcome it, and you can reverse that process quite significantly too. So, what do you think helped you on your journey? What was the biggest, thing that sort of helped to get you through it? Because, as you said, like, the going gets tough. Some days you don't feel like doing anything. You feel like just staying home or staying in bed and not participating. So, what got you through?
For me, I guess having a goal. So, reevaluating my goals on those times when it got hard, and my family and friends have been quite supportive.
Great.
So, that's been great as well. I've got great trainers here that have been supportive.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I guess, all of it sort of helps, especially at times when I've lost motivation, which does happen. Mm-hmm. Sort of, reevaluating where I'm at and, do I really want to get back to where I was, or, am I, do I want to go forward and, carry on? Yeah,
continue to make progress.
Yeah.
So those low points, I guess, when motivation kind of dropped off, it sounds like you went back to your why. Is it like why you want to do this in the first place? Would that be correct? Or?
Yeah, that would be correct, because at times I feel like I've made a step backwards, mm-hmm. but then I sort of reevaluate where I've come from, and then reevaluate where I want to get to. Yep. And you sort of put it all back into perspective and actually realise that you haven't sort of gone right back to the start. You're, still somewhat on the journey. So, it's a lot easier to sort of restart again.
Yeah, well, 100% agree. I think once you start seeing the results, and it's still, some days are still hard, but at least like you think back to where you started, and it's like, I've made so much progress already. The last thing you want is to lose it all and go back to how you were before.
Exactly.
Because you can see how you can actually make more progress.
Yeah.
Cool. What were the obstacles? Like, what did you find most challenging?
I guess time to get to the gym has been a challenge for me.
Okay.
I have 3 boys, so, they're all quite active. So, trying to add that in with work and, family life. And the other challenges that I've had have been, like getting COVID and getting really tired and sort of just trying to just get the energy to, get back up and do stuff, when I guess in the past my default has been to relax and not do anything rather than, actually sort of get back up and, sort of do exercise.
Well, the thing about exercise is kind of counterintuitive, because you think that exercise would make you more tired. In fact, the fitter you get, the more energy you get. So it's like you don't really understand it or realize it until you actually try and get fit, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, at the beginning I found I was getting quite tired by exercising, but that was obviously because I was so unfit. But I find now the fitter that I'm getting, the less tired I get from the exercise.
Sure. Can I just go back on what you just said before? So you found that time was an issue, and for most people it is. So how do you overcome that aspect? Like you got big, you've got family, you've got 3 kids. So how did you find time?
I guess trying to make it a priority and sort of just going, well, actually you need this more than you need, to read a book at the moment, or, have, have that relaxation time that I might have had, so now it's sort of like, okay, like where I thought I needed to rest, I actually probably needed to exercise to,
Totally.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. It's quite interesting in terms of time. A lot of people come to us and I guess the biggest excuse is like, I don't have time. The thing is that we always find time for things that we want to do. Like if you, and I'm not saying it's about you, but like in general, people will always watch Netflix or TV, and they have time for that. And I think on average, people watch something like 3 hours of TV per day. And then all of a sudden, they don't have time to exercise. So it's like, for you, it might be something else. But again, like you prioritize exercise over other things. It's not about whether you have time, it's how do you make time, isn't it? So, yeah, cool. Great. No, you've done so well. Like, what sort of advice would you give to yourself 2 years ago? Like, knowing what you know now, like, what would be the best advice you could give you 2 years ago?
I guess stop making excuses and just start.
Cool.
Because I guess I made lots of excuses why I couldn't do it, and, why it wasn't really going to work for me, and, everything else, and how I couldn't fit it into my life, and for various reasons.
It's overcoming doubt, isn't it? Like, it's hard. Like, the reason why starting is hard is because you think, oh, will it work for me? Is it the right approach for me? Am I going to waste my time and effort and time away from family and all the rest of it? There's just so many reasons not to do it, isn't it? But once you start seeing results, I guess makes it easier, doesn't it?
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right. Well, and look, just the last thing I'm going to ask you. Like there's other people listening to us today. What would be your advice for them? Like people might be contemplating, starting on their fitness journey. They also have all these thoughts about why they shouldn't be doing it. What would you say to them?
It's really hard to start, but it's even harder not doing anything.
Yep.
Would be my advice.
Yep. And I guess that you need to think about what would happen if nothing is done now as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you always, at the end of the day, you look, okay, well, if I don't do it now, yes, it is hard, I have to find time and the rest of it, but 5 years, 10 years down the track, if nothing changes, well, what would
Yeah.
life be like, isn't it?
Exactly. And,
Yeah.
like my health issues, would they be worse? What challenges would I be having in my physical life,
Mm.
if I hadn't have started? So, and it's great. Like at the moment, I'm reaping all the rewards of getting fitter, and
Great.
so it's great.
Amazing. Very good. Thanks for your time today. I think that kind of rounds it up, and hopefully you guys have learned something from this. And thank you, Robyn.
Thanks.
Okay, guys, so I hope you found the podcast of value. If you did and you're struggling with your own health and fitness journey, there's a link in the description for a free discovery call with me. And that free discovery call, we're going to cover off a little bit about you, your history, your goals, what you want to achieve, and maybe we can help you or not with your own health and fitness goal. So if that does sound like something that you'd like to do, then click on the link in the description, and I look forward to chatting to you in the very near future. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.